Let's stop talking about Trump. We talk about him too much. We want to tell people what we're going to do for them. Yeah. Healthcare, environment, those kind of issues. For example, I've seen you on TV a lot in the last couple of years. I know everything you know, or that you tell us, about the Russian situation. I don't have a clue what you think about healthcare. I've never heard it. Yeah. I don't know whether you're for Medicare for all, or improve Obamacare, or get a chicken. I don't know what.
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now, that they've been pushing this false narrative about the vice president and his son.
So, a few days ago, we showed you Bill Maher absolutely torching Adam Schiff for his giant-sized hypocrisy and the ripple effect it had on the ever-flailing Democrats. Well, buckle up, because this is part 2, a deeper dive into Schiff's double standards and full-blown case of Trump derangement syndrome. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now's a good time, unless you want to miss more delicious political meltdowns like this one. Office of Legal Opinion.
I was always of the opinion, number one, that the Office of Legal Counsel opinion that you can't indict a sitting president was wrong.
Oh, good.
That, in fact, you can indict a sitting president. I think there are prudential reasons not to try someone who's the President of the United States, but particularly when there's any risk of the statute of limitations running. If the president commits a crime, they should be indicted, and you should stay prosecution. So, but frankly, I had no expectation that that would be the course Mueller would take, even if the evidence supported it, because he is fundamentally conservative, and I don't mean left-right conservative, but he was going to follow the established policy. He was not going to make new ground. So I didn't think it was realistic to expect that he would indict the president. And those that did, I think, were unrealistic in their expectations.
I want you to really take note of how Adam Schiff practically sang sonnets about indicting President Trump during his first 4 years. It wasn't just criticism, it was a full-blown obsession. Now look, I get it, Schiff's a Democrat. Of course he's gonna cheerlead for Biden and foam at the mouth anytime Trump so much as breathes. But seriously, is that what this country needs right now? Politicians who treat party loyalty like a religion and refuse to call out the rot in their own ranks? America's already hanging by a thread politically. The last thing we need is more partisan puppets pretending they're serving justice when all they're really doing is fanning the flames of division. Accountability shouldn't stop where the party line starts, but for people like Schiff, none of that matters. All they care about is keeping their party in power. Everyone else in America can go to hell for all they care. Now, you're probably wondering where I'm going with this. Fair question. So take a look at this clip and I'll be back with my thoughts right after.
But this was our big gun. Now it just looks like you're stalking him. I think in the eyes of the people who don't follow it that closely, which is most of the country, here's the thing about Bob Mueller. He's like the last person, maybe the last thing in America that left and right agreed on. Left and right basically agreed. This is a guy of honor. This is an honest guy. This is an honest broker. Whatever he says goes. Americans are not into details. Don't read it to me, Bob. Just give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. The fact that he was like, if you couldn't impeach before, how are you going to impeach after?
Did you catch Bill Maher calling Adam Schiff a Trump stalker? Because honestly, that's exactly what he was. Schiff was completely hell-bent on impeaching Trump come hell, high water, or a total lack of evidence. At the time, he was pushing the Russia collusion narrative like it was gospel truth. But here's the kicker. Even Robert Mueller, the special counsel for the Department of Justice, came up empty-handed. No concrete evidence, no smoking gun, nothing that justified the hysteria Schiff was fueling on cable news every other night. And yet, there he was, relentless, obsessive, and oddly giddy about taking Trump down. It didn't matter if the facts didn't line up. Schiff wasn't chasing truth. He was chasing headlines and partisan glory. When you're that committed to a witch hunt, due process becomes just another inconvenience. Gradually, Maher is exposing Schiff's hypocrisy, but wait, there's more.
Here's the awful dilemma that we face. If we don't impeach him, that sends a message that this kind of conduct, this obstruction of justice, this kind of willing use of the help of a foreign adversary, all the lies and cover-up, that this is non-impeachable. At the same time, if we do impeach him, and he is acquitted as he would likely be acquitted, then the message is those are not impeachable offenses. At the end of the day, Bill, there's only one way to deal with this problem, whether we impeach him or not, and that is to vote his ass out of office.
That's what Schiff has always been after. Not justice, not truth, but getting Trump out of office by any means necessary and installing his preferred political puppet in the White House. If you read between the lines, it becomes painfully obvious. Schiff wasn't driven by some noble pursuit of accountability. He was laser focused on flipping power back to his party. And here's the real tell: if he truly had rock solid evidence, if his case against Trump was as airtight as he constantly claimed, then why was he already predicting acquittal before the trial even began? That's not the confidence of a man with facts on his side. That's the calculation of a political operator who knows the theater matters more than the truth. Schiff was playing to the cameras, not the Constitution. It was never about justice. It was always about control, headlines, and scoring points for Team Blue. But here's where Bill Maher drops the gauntlet.
Let's stop talking about Trump. We talk about him too much. We want to tell people what we're going to do for them. Healthcare, environment, those kind of issues. For example, I've seen you on TV a lot in the last couple of years. I know everything you know, or that you tell us, about the Russian situation. I don't have a clue what you think about healthcare. I've never heard it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're for Medicare for all, or improve Obamacare, or get a chicken. I don't know what.
Bill Maher is nothing short of a master tactician when it comes to exposing political hypocrisy, and he proved it yet again with just one brutally simple question. Watch how he undresses Adam Schiff's entire narrative with surgical precision. For the past 7 years, Schiff has made it his life's mission to go after Trump, portraying him as some kind of political boogeyman. That's been his whole brand. Trump bad, Orange Man scary. But Maher cuts through the noise and asks the question no Democrat wants to answer. Okay, let's say Trump is a monster and we vote against him. Why should we vote for the Democratic candidate? And even more damning, what exactly is Schiff's message? What does he believe in beyond hating Trump? Crickets. The man is famous not for his ideas or leadership, but for obsessively attacking one political rival. Strip that away, and there's nothing left but a hollow partisan shell with a microphone. But here's what's even worse. After endlessly preaching about the moral urgency of impeaching Trump, the Democratic Party was suddenly blindsided by their biggest scandal in over a decade, the Hunter Biden laptop saga. And just like that, Adam Schiff's moral high ground and performative outrage vanished into thin air. Instead of calling for transparency, he jumped to Hunter Biden's defense with full force, no questions asked. He didn't just deflect criticism, he went on the offensive, targeting anyone who dared to question the narrative, including the laptop repairman who blew the whistle.
John Paul, we know that your life has been turned absolutely upside down because you were accused of spreading Russian disinformation. Tell us about the last few years and what led you to file this lawsuit.
Good morning, Carly. Thanks for having me on the show. Well, the last couple of years have been pretty tough. It was pretty quick out of the gate that I was labeled a hacker. And then after Adam Schiff and 51 intelligence experts decided to pen a letter and tell the rest of the American people I was a Russian asset, things have kind of gone downhill from there.
I've got to hand it to John Paul McIsaac. The man had a sense of humor even while being dragged through the mud. He referred to Adam Schiff as Adam Schiff, and honestly, it fits. Schiff didn't just bend the truth. He shifted it, twisted it, and reshaped it to serve his political agenda. In any functioning democracy, someone like John Paul, who had the courage to come forward and reveal the shady dealings on Hunter Biden's infamous laptop, should be praised, protected, and even rewarded for speaking truth to power. But not in Schiff's America. Instead of investigating the facts, Schiff went on national television and smeared John Paul as a Russian asset. No evidence, no hesitation, just a full-on character assassination. And like clockwork, the media followed his lead, turning a whistleblower into a villain and setting the tone for a nationwide smear campaign, all because he exposed the wrong guy.
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now that they've been pushing this false narrative about the vice president and his son.
Without a shred of evidence, Adam Schiff confidently declared that the Hunter Biden laptop story was nothing more than Russian disinformation. No investigation, no due diligence, just baseless finger-pointing dressed up as national security concern. Schiff went on national television and flat out lied to the American public, insisting the laptop was fake, the story was fabricated, and the entire thing was being pushed by bad actors, namely Rudy Giuliani, in a desperate effort to smear Joe Biden before the election. He painted it as a dirty trick from the Kremlin playbook, hoping Americans would tune out and dismiss it as a hoax. But here's the kicker. The laptop was real. The emails were real. The corruption, influence peddling, and questionable foreign dealings, also real. Schiff didn't just get it wrong, he actively misled the public, all to protect his party's golden boy. And now, instead of accountability, we get silence. Convenient, isn't it?
I want a group of people who are not ideologically captured by either side. I am tired of the extremes and the extremists who dominate the debate. They have the megaphone, and we hear them more, but I don't think they represent what most people in the country talk about. I think almost any issue, you could actually come up with a reasonable middle ground.
Just like Bill Maher, many of us are fed up with politicians like Adam Schiff, ideologically captured, morally inconsistent, and hopelessly loyal to party over country. These are the people who twist every issue through a partisan lens, incapable of holding their own side accountable. If Donald Trump so much as jaywalks, they're ready to hang him at dawn. But if it's Joe Biden's son caught in a scandal, suddenly it's Russian disinformation and a conspiracy theory. The hypocrisy is staggering. It's not about justice, truth, or integrity. It's about protecting their political tribe at all costs. These people aren't public servants. They're partisan hacks playing a dangerous game. And if we're not careful, they'll drag the rest of the country into the gutter with them. It's time we start calling them out, marking them for what they are, and refusing to let them lead us further down a path of division and decay.
Let's live in the year we're living in. You know, the year 2024 is just very different. Very, like night and day different from 50 years ago. Even probably 20 years ago.
In the end, Adam Schiff represents everything that's broken in modern American politics. Hypocrisy, double standards, and blind loyalty to party over principle. For years, he made a name for himself by obsessively attacking Trump, pushing narratives that lacked evidence, and dismissing legitimate concerns like the Hunter Biden laptop scandal as Russian disinformation. When confronted with the truth, he didn't correct course. He doubled down. And sadly, he's not alone. Politicians like him, on both sides, have turned politics into a team sport where winning matters more than honesty and protecting the party outweighs protecting the country. Bill Maher said it best: if all you've got is fear of the other side, what are you actually offering? Americans deserve leaders with convictions, not career opportunists playing both sides. It's time we stop tolerating the sham and start demanding better, because if we keep following people like Schiff, we'll keep heading straight for disaster. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.